tomorrow night. Hey everybody, welcome back to the UK Americana Bar Show. Thank you for joining us. We really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. A couple of weeks ago on the European tour, I got the chance to interview a couple of guys from the blues sector out of Tennessee in America. One's called Heavy Drunk, and the other guy's called Watermelon Slim. Yes, you heard me right. Two blues artists. They're absolutely fantastic. Over here promoting the new album. The song of the new album is called Watermelon Girl, and it was written by a guy that wrote Rainy Night in Georgia and Poke Salad Annie. Absolutely fantastic. These guys are not just great artists in their own right, but they're a little bit comedic as well. The comedians are absolutely funny. You're going to love it. Part one of Heavy Drunk and Watermelon Slim. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the UK Americana Bar Show. Thank you for joining us. Oh my God, look who we have in the studio. We've got Mr. Heavy Drunk and we've got Mr. Watermelon Slim. How you doing, guys?
Great, fantastic. We're proud to be here.
Thank you for taking the time to see us. We really do appreciate it.
We got a terrific tour of
Thank
London.
you very much,
here.
Mr. Sam. We appreciate it.
That's not a problem. Hold the phone. Someone has just become a granddad. Who is that?
Me?
You're a granddad. You guys are independent artists in your own right, aren't you?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I've been reading everything about you. You know, 26 studio albums between you?
Yeah, I think Slim's done 14 records, and I've done 12 over the years. And
it's like 13 CDs and one LP.
That's a lot of work.
I made the LP. I'm one of three artists, as they would call us,
artists,
who were Vietnam veterans who made music, made recordings while the war was going on.
Wow, cool.
One was the Staff Sergeant Barry Sadler Ballad of the Green Beret you've heard of. Mm-hmm. One of the other one besides me was named Archie Bell that made Doing the Tighten Up,
Archie
made his
Bell.
hits before as he was a teenager, before he was ever in the service. Then he enlisted, then he went airborne, then he went to Vietnam, got a Purple Heart, and he's still performing today. And the third one was me.
Archie Bell.
And your record, though, was a protest record, was it not?
It was, I wouldn't exactly call it a protest album, but I did play several numbers from the viewpoint of the Vietnamese rather than the viewpoint of the Americans.
So, look, tell me about this collaboration. So you decided to get together. Now, am I right in thinking how it kind of started was you had a ribs truck. You sold ribs and stuff.
I had a joint. No, I had a barbecue joint in Tennessee.
And that's how you
for
met
13 years.
The guy who wrote your song that you're promoting, which is off the album for next year.
That the Watermelon Girl record I wrote with Tony Joe White, who is the Swamp Fox, who wrote Rainy Night in Georgia. He wrote Poke Salad Annie. Yeah, wrote a lot of great hits.
And did he?
And was one of the coolest men to ever walk the planet. And just a terrific gentleman, sweet cat, loved to go fishing, and he would come in my barbecue joint and get ribs whenever he was going fishing. So we became friends and ended up writing Watermelon Girl. Fast forward to meeting Watermelon Slim down in Clarksdale, Mississippi, and we started doing this record together, and I was like, well, I have to do Watermelon Girl for our Watermelon Slim record. And so now we've got this Heavy Drunk and Watermelon Slim record out, and the first single was Watermelon Girl. The second single was a song, really the impetus for the whole record, which was a Slim song that he wrote called Little Bighorn. And he played it for me, and I was like, Slim, have you ever recorded? And he was like, no, I just have this recording I did at my house. And I was like, we have to record that and put that on a record. And that's what we did. And then just most recently, the title track, Bluesland Theme Park, came out, and it's now out and available. So you can get all 3 of those singles, and then the full record will be out in February.
That's of next year, right?
Right. But if you come to any of these shows...
Girl on that album?
It is.
Oh,
if
cool.
you come to any of these shows, we've cut an album advance. So we've got LPs.
Sounds like you're doing an album a year.
Yeah, well, we in the last couple of years we have. But we cut LPs off of this record. We did a European advance LP and CD just for these shows. So anybody that comes to this show can buy those, but that's the only place they're available.
Are you guys from, silly question, Mississippi? Nashville?
I am. I grew up in Mississippi. I was born in Louisiana. Slim lives in Clarksdale, Mississippi.
I was actually born in Boston. I don't try to tell too many people, but I grew up in Asheville, North Carolina. That just got the shattered records of floods with Hurricane Helene.
Yeah, they've had a terrible hurricane.
Yeah, I know. We heard it all over. It's terrible, terrible.
There's over 100
never had anything like that. The river I
terrible.
used to sit next to and fish when I was a little boy.
That's in North Carolina, nowhere near.
And it's miles and miles as well.
Right, and it's nowhere near the ocean. It's in the mountains.
There's no precedent for anybody ever having a flood that high in elevation.
2,800 feet above sea level, they've got a flood.
Frightening, huh?
It's terrifying.
It's true what they say about the world economics, they're all changing. The weather is changing everywhere. Yeah. Back to your music, because I've been watching some stuff. You've been doing lots of different stuff yourself, haven't you? There's a guy that introduced us to you called Eric Dahl.
Yes.
You know
Eric.
He said, I've got to get to ask you about the times you used to borrow his motorbike and drive all over the place. Is that right?
So Eric used to come out. So my place was called Puckett's in Leapers Fork, Tennessee. I don't know if you've ever been to Leapers Fork, but it's south of Nashville on the Trace, Leiper''S, Leapers Fork, Tennessee. And so I had a barbecue joint in there, and we had a lot of motorcyclers that would come in from all around, and that's how I met Eric. He would come in and have a beer and some barbecue, and I would steal his motorcycle and go for a ride while he was eating barbecue.
He was laughing when he was telling me about it.
Yeah, he's a trip and a sweet guy, and we've done his show a few times, and he's written some great. That book that he wrote about B.B. King, I don't know if you've read that.
It went crazy over here,
It's amazing.
The footage that we did about it, it went bonkers over here about that. We was trying to find out what was the name of the guitar, and it was Lucille.
Lucille, that's right.
Do you tour this country like occasionally, or I know you've been to Australia and Europe and stuff like that all around the world, but do you come here much, UK?
I have been. The first time I ever went to England was 2004. I had
20 years.
I was still a truck driver, and after going to graduate school, they told me, Mr. Holman, you're wasting your time.
Yeah.
Your lack of teeth is an effective bar to your professional employment. So 5 days after getting my master's degree in history, I was back in the truck. But in 2004, for the first time I went to England, I went back again in 2005. I went to two more solo tours, and I've toured all over the place. I tell people, well, I've been everywhere from Newcastle to South Devon, and everywhere from Manchester on down to Cali. And I've been over here several times with two different bands, but not since 2019.
So we was going to talk about your awards. I say you got so many accolades and awards between you. The write-ups you're getting across.
Well,
in the blues section, not just
in the blues genre. The best award for a blues man before there was any such thing as an award was a pocket full of change and dollar bills, a place to sleep in the night, maybe somebody to sleep with, and the biggest reward was knowing you had another gig the next night to play and have the same thing happen, maybe someplace different.
Yeah. Knowing you got another gig the following night, God, that was always a biggie, wasn't it?
You know, the awards that I've gotten are still not on the level of Grammys, say, or Oscars.
Blues Awards, yeah.
But
Well, how do you feel about these, is it 50,000 Spotify hits a month? Mm-hmm. Like every month? I mean, that's powerful stuff.
Yeah, we're over, like, between his, I know that he's over his tenure had over a million.
I've never had a hit.
Million and a half hits. We're talking about hits on Spotify. And then, Heavy Drunk has over 50,000 a month. I think that he currently has about 20,000 a month. I think between us it's around 70. And it's just 70,000 monthly listeners. I don't know what that means. Apparently it's people listening. We don't get paid from that. We don't see any money from that. Well, that's the blues, I guess.
Well, it's not the blues. That's modern technology.
That's technology.
It's the blues.
Something smells fishy to me.
Is something different. The blues is something very much different.
So, guys, what's the future?
Well, it's like
from the recording business. It said sayonara to me when it started doing live stream and digital download.
He's been nominated for 21 Blues Awards and won a few. Of course, in the blues, you can't win many. It's just part of the blues. You're supposed to lose most of the time. But he's won a few and been nominated through his whole career for many of his records. And
You've not done so bad yourself.
When I met him, they were down there. He was playing Clarksdale. He was doing dishes at the Bluesberry, which is one of our favorite places in the Clarksdale, Mississippi. And if you hadn't been to Clarksdale, Mississippi, if you love the blues, you've got to go to Clarksdale. It is just a wonderful place. It's where the blues started. It's where the blues actually came from. And you can always see Slim down there. He's playing down there a lot. But he was just doing that, and he didn't feel like he would get out and tour again. And I was able with John to talk him into coming and doing this tour. So we're excited to have him. And we're looking forward to it.
You just touched down a couple of days ago, didn't you, in London?
Yeah, we just got here in London.
This is the first place you come to.
Right. We had to come see you. It was all about coming to see you. And we appreciate you putting us up.
No, Eric said, hey, Sam, you've got to get these guys.
I got to ask a question. You aren't going to take us somebody isn't going to take us all the way up to Newcastle on Tyne and then run us all the way back down to your house the day after.
Absolutely. That's exactly what's going to happen. That's exactly the way we're going to work
I'm a nice guy.
So we'll be in at 3 a.m.
And
we expect pancakes and sausage and eggs and bacon. Just a little breakfast. Just a little nosh when we get in. And that'll be fun.